Well, hello friends, it's Amy Frillici with the Gathering Inkspiration Stamp Studio, and today I want to show you how to make this beautiful birthday card. I actually am casing this card from another friend. Her name is Jennifer Hill, and she does fabulous work. I was trying to find an idea for this mitten framelit set for a card class that I did recently. So I got on Pinterest and I found a really cute card that she made very similar to this. I changed it up just a little bit, but I loved her creativity on that card, so I thought, why not do something kind of similar? But like I said, I made it a birthday card. Instead of, I didn't actually use the what is it called, Smitten Mittens stamp set on this card. I did use the what are they called, the many Mittens Framelits, I think they are. Anyway, so I'm going to show you, I'll show you those, and then we'll go ahead and get started making the card. So this is what I was referring to. It might be a little bit easier to actually see. This is from our holiday catalog on page 38 of our holiday catalog. So can you see, this is the Smitten Mittens stamp set. And lots of cute sentiments. There's one that says smitten and to and from, and then may you have many merry moments surrounded by those you love. So it's kind of a, you know, obviously wintry, kind of traditional. There's kind of a Christmas sentiment there. And then these are the many mittens framelits. So can you guys see those? So we are using this one with all of the detail, and then the right and the left mittens. And then there are a bunch of other little embellishments that you can use. So here's a great example where they stamped the outline of the mitten and then just die cut it with the mitten framelits, and then they put that really pretty gold snowflake. They die cut that using the framelits. So we are just using the framelits today, but obviously this is a really cute stamp set as well, and they are in the bundle, the Smitten Mitten bundle. When you look for that little bubble in the holiday catalog, you can see that the stamp set and the framelits are bundled together, and then you get 10% off of those two items together. So let's see, why don't we go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm actually going to do, am I going to do that first? Nope, I'm not. I was thinking I would. Usually I say to do my stamping first, but in this case, I don't want it to get kind of smushed or smeared when we run this through the embossing folder. So back up, I am going to do my big shot work first, and then we'll come back and do our stamping. So the first thing we are going to do, we're going to die cut the mittens. So I've just got some strips of, this is crumb cake cardstock and then whisper white cardstock. So we are going to cut our mittens out first. So I'm going to grab the big shot and get that right there for you all. Okay, so got my magnetic platform on my big shot. Oh, and brand new cutting pads. Oh my goodness, they've never been used before. So they almost were like stuck together there. Okay, so I'm gonna feed in one of my strips of whisper white cardstock, and I'll do one of my mittens. Those are gonna layer behind. So here's the one with all of the detail. Can you see all that detail in there? And then obviously the white is going to peek out. We're going to put it behind there. So let's see, we'll run that one. Put this other clear cutting pad on top, and we're going to crank this through the big shot. I'm going to go back and forth because all of that detail on that mitten, I want to make sure that I get it cut out as well as I can. I did bring my big shot die brush, so I'm sure we're going to need that. I'm trying to figure out how to, I want to be able to show you guys all these things in the video. So there, we'll just get rid of this. I'm going to get that set up so it's ready for the next half, and then this is the one I want to show you. So can you see all the detail there? Maybe I'll even just try to do this right on top of here. So I'm going to use my big shot die brush, running that over. I'm being, you know, not super aggressive, but kind of, because I want to get all those little bits out, so hopefully there aren't many. Ooh, normally it pops out for me. Of course, now that I'm trying to show you all this, it's not going to do that, but I've got my paper piercing tool, so I can pop that out. But actually, it worked out pretty well because look at all of the little bits and pieces came out of there. So awesome. So I'm just going to tap that off and get that out of the way. Now, the one kind of interesting thing, there's only one of these framelits, so whatever that is, if that's the left hand, we don't have a right hand with all the detail. So we're just going to cut another one out with this left hand, and then we're going to flip it over and kind of use the opposite side, but it works just fine. Okay, so we're gonna run through one more round of these so we have right and left-handed mittens. Okay, so crank our big shot again, and I'm gonna go back and forth one more time with this one too, because that worked really well. I didn't even have to poke any of the pieces out. I am not gonna get rid of that because we do have to do some embossing also. So let's see how, the white one, that's easy. That's just the outline. So you could have stamped this and then that pops right out for us, okay? Then let's see, how did this one turn out? Looks good there. I'm gonna grab my big shot die brush again, run that all over here. I'll see if I get so lucky this time. Looks like most of the pieces are coming out, right? And I can maybe, if I had fingernails, I always file them too short. There, okay, that one looks good too. Yay, look at how cute that is. It makes me want to wear mittens, although around here in Michigan, it's going to be time for that soon enough. Okay, next thing we want to emboss. This is a very vanilla piece. I'm not going to move the big shot out of the way, but I'll tell you, it measures 3 3/4 inches here by 5 inches here. So we're going to emboss this with our, what's it called? The Winter Wonder embossing folder. And I need one of these. So this is just my regular platform now that I'm using for my embossing. This is the embossing folder that we're going to use, the Winter Wonder embossing folder, this beautiful large snowflake. And I want my embossing to kind of be up in the top, I guess I want to show you this way, kind of that top right corner of the card. So I'm going to put it in just about like that. I'm going to lay it down on there and put my other clear cutting pad on top, and we're going to crank this through and I'll show you how pretty this is. I love this embossing folder. It's perfect, obviously, for winter. Okay, woo! Oh, I keep doing it wrong. There we go. That's how it's gonna, the orientation of it, I should say. It's not wrong, but that's the orientation that we're gonna have on our card. Okay, so let's see, what can we do next? I think we can kind of start putting we'll do our stamping and then we can put our card together, okay? Got all my little pieces here, I wanna make sure. So let me show you dimensions, back up. This was our piece of cardstock that measured 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11. This is pool party cardstock, full sheet. So then we cut it in half at 5.5 and then scored it in half at 4 1/4 to make our nice fold on our card, okay? Next we have, and I love this, I don't think I've ever done this before, where we use white and vanilla on the same card. Is so pretty. So then the next layer is a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then our very vanilla piece that we just embossed that, like I said, measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, okay? So we are going to adhere the vanilla piece onto the white piece. I just love that layering. And I'm using my fast fuse here, and I want to put quite a bit of it on because with all of that embossing, oops, ooh, don't do this, folks. Let's see, I'm all right. I didn't flick my wrist enough there. Yeah, so I guess, you know, if it happens, just try to pull it off and stick it on your card and make sure it's still ready to run. Okay, so we're gonna put these 2 layers together here. And now that I've got so much fast fuse, I have very little forgiveness in terms of getting this lined up properly. But I think we're okay. We're gonna rub that to make sure that looks good there. Now we are gonna put, and this is how I did my bow on here. I did a strip of ribbon and then I tacked it on the back. Oh, I should back up too. This is called Classic Weave Ribbon in a soft sky color. And it is, oh, it's just really like soft and beautiful. Kind of reminds you of mittens almost. Okay, so we're just gonna cut a strip and we're gonna tack it around the back. Okay, I'm gonna use my fast fuse again because now I've got a couple of layers of cardstock. And I wanna make sure that those are gonna adhere well so that the ribbon sticks well to that piece of cardstock and then that these 2 pieces stay on well. Oops, man, I'm having a hard time with that today. It's a new one. I don't know if that makes a difference, if it's especially sticky, but we got it. Okay, so we're gonna put all those on. This feels really strange too, guys, because normally I would have already done my stamping like way before I'm putting this all together, but I'm gonna just hope that this works well. Did I show you? This is a really nice stamp set. It's called Beautiful Bouquet, and can you see all of the sentiments? I mean, there are a ton of sentiments. So you could have made this, I'm not gonna read them all, but there's a cute thanks a bunch here. Oh, let's see, you could do a congratulations. I used the happy birthday, but just tons. I mean, how many, what is that? Probably, oh gosh, like, is that like 15 different sentiments there? And then tons of really pretty flowers. So even if you're not totally into flowers, there are so many good sentiments. And this is really small print. Can you see? Hope I peeled off the happy birthday, so you're not going to be able to see. But anyway, trust me, this one, it's bigger, right? You can tell that. This happy birthday versus that happy birthday, this is probably about 50% of the size of the actual stamps. So lots of cute sentiments. I love the cursive writing that they used on that stamp set. We're using Early Espresso ink, kind of a nice easy tap, tap, tap. We're gonna press straight down and lift straight up. Phew, that worked out well. I guess I wasn't too worried though. It's just one kind of simple stamp. Normally I tell you to stamp and then put your card together so that if you don't stamp that nicely, you can always flip the cardstock over. In this case, you wouldn't have been able to do that anyway. I guess you could have used like the reverse side of the embossing, but anyway, it worked out. So now back to our bow. So now I've got my strip on there. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of feeding that strip around there, and I'm going to tie it in a knot. And I know that's not on the right side, but that's okay. We can move it once we've made it. Okay, so I'm going to tie that. I'm going to make my loop and then my other loop and feed that through the hole. And you can see that's not very pretty right now, right? But that's why I keep it on the bolt so that I've got some extra ribbon. So now I'm going to kind of I want to get the loops the right size, and then I can always trim off the tails once I get those where I want them. The loops, I mean, once it gets the loops where I want them, then I can trim off the tails to be the right size. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of just slide that, and that's the nice thing too, is you don't have to worry about where it is. You can just slide it kind of up and down wherever you like. Okay, I'm going to kind of snip that one at an angle and that one at an angle. There we go. Okay, now we are going to put our mittens together. So I'm moving that stuff out of the way. So this is what I was saying, that these are both just left-handed mittens. So we're going to flip this one over and use this side for the other one. So I'm actually going to, so I don't know why, so I don't confuse myself. I flipped them both over, and I'm going to add some adhesive. Now I like to use, this is my silicone craft sheet. And I use that just to put adhesive on here. I think it's so much easier. So I'm using my snail, and I'm just kind of popping it, I don't know, kind of all over. I'm not running all the way across because obviously there are lots of places that you don't really want adhesive. So I made a big kind of run right there, and then I'm just doing little bits, and I'll show you. It might come through a little bit, but they haven't been sticky when I've been doing it like this. Okay, so now I've got my Whisper White mitten, so cute, and I'm gonna lay him. I'm getting adhesive. I should be, you know what? Let me back up. Then I won't have that problem. I'm gonna work right on here. Okay, so I'm gonna layer that on there, and then I'm gonna rub for two reasons: to kind of obviously get that adhered on there, and then if I've got extra adhesive, then I've just kind of rubbed that right off. Okay, so there's one. And then I'm going to turn this one over, and this is the one that's the back side. And at first I thought, oh, that's really going to bother me because that's kind of the bad side, if you will, and that's the good side. But honestly, you don't even notice once you put it on there. It's not really a bad side, it's just you feel the ridges a little bit more on there. And again, I'm just going to kind of rub a little bit to make sure I've got that stuck on there tight. And then I'm going to flip these over, and I am going to put some dimensionals on the back. I was going to say, usually I forget those, but I knew that I brought them, and then I covered them up so I couldn't find them easily. Okay, so we're putting a couple of dimensionals on the back of those guys. I'm going to peel these off. There's one, and there's the other. Okay, so let's see. We're going to put him maybe right about there, and then that guy right about there. Does that look? I feel like I want to move him over just a titch. Okay. There we go. And press that down. And that is it. So while it looked like there was, I don't know, a little bit more detail on this card, it's really not a difficult card to make. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this card. I hope you were inspired today. As always, make sure you check out my blog at Gathering Ink with a K, gatheringinkspiration.com. I've got lots of great tips and tricks and ideas and other videos on there as well. Once you decide what you need to make this card, if you don't have everything already, make sure you hop over to my Stampin' Up! Website at amysuzanne.stampinup.net and you can put your order in on there. I always send a thank you card to anyone that places an online order with me. If you grab the host code on my blog on the right hand side toolbar, when you shop online, if you spend at least $50, I'll send you a cute little goodie or an embellishment, something fun from our holiday catalog maybe right now. I'll put that in your thank you card as a special thank you for shopping with me. And please let me know if you have any questions on this card, if you have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see, or just if you have any questions or comments in general. I would love to hear from you. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you were inspired today and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.